Our group has researched multiple components of the Italian Renaissance garden, and we will be discussing the history of Italian Renaissance gardens, the structural components of the gardens, and the specific plants commonly found in this type of garden. We will also illustrate these different topics through several photos of different Renaissance gardens found throughout Italy, plus photos of American gardens that were inspired by Italian Renaissance gardens. We will begin by discussing the history behind the Renaissance garden.
The Italian Renaissance garden originated in the late 15th century in Rome and Florence and was inspired by ideas of order, beauty, and grandeur. This garden was intended for viewing pleasure, landscape, beauty, and holding some sort of purpose, which usually signified power and magnificence. The ruling dynasty of Florence, Italy, the Medici, used their gardens to signify power over their subjects. In the later years of the Renaissance period, gardens became bigger and more symmetrical. You start to see fountains, water features, statues, and grottos added to amuse the people. This style garden was imitated throughout Europe and is known to have influenced French gardens and English gardens. Prior to the Renaissance, gardens were mainly used for growing food, produce, and necessary staples, and the idea of using a garden for art came about because of this. Today, these types of gardens tend to be only seen in terms of beauty, waterworks, and large evergreen trees, not signifying power.
The structure of an Italian Renaissance garden is what really sets it apart from most other gardening styles. These gardens are built on the idea of one's total control of the landscape. This is accomplished by modeling the garden symmetrically on one or two axes that govern the patterns of the garden, while also conveying a clear sense of order and strict balance. Order is carefully managed in both the layout of the garden via the use of square corners and triangular areas, but also in the plants themselves, and can be seen in carefully pruned topiaries. Running down the central axis of the garden is typically a large promenade bordered by shaped hedges, which allows people to view the garden from the desired position, but also allows them to see others and be seen by others. While the main purpose of an Italian Renaissance garden is to make a public display, there is also typically a private grotto that is decorated with sculptures and outfitted with seating for good wine and quality conversation. The promenade and grotto are two examples of how Italian Renaissance gardens are segmented into different areas that each serve a specific purpose. Other sections of the garden can include statue gardens and water gardens that feature fountains and ponds. The statues are typically depicting gods or mythological creatures, and the fountains can either deliver extravagant shows or be more traditional tiered styles.
Italian gardens are known for their elegance, romance, and simple beauty, and the plants in these gardens reflect these attributes by creating order, symmetry, and geometric shapes. The geometric shapes found in the gardens bring energy and interest into the garden and are typically formed by evergreen hedges such as the common boxwood. Flowering plants, like Daphne, are also found in Italian gardens. These flowers are used to add color. However, there is usually a limit of 1 or 2 colors throughout the garden so that the harmony is not interrupted. Some more common flowering plants are holly, an evergreen with white and pink flowers and red berries in the winter; myrtle, a shrub with fragrant white flowers; jasmine, clusters of tiny white fragrant flowers. These flowering plants are normally growing on pergolas, which are long, narrow structures with pillars to support crossbeams for plants to grow on. Some other plants that you will commonly find in an Italian garden are lemon trees, oleanders, cotton lavender, eucryphia tree, an evergreen tree with glossy dark green leaves, bear's breeches, Italian cypress, and the fragrant olive shrub.
Italian Renaissance gardens are full of extreme detail and overall beauty. These gardens successfully emulate power while still maintaining elegance. Even though, over time, Renaissance gardens ventured away from signifying power, they never strayed far from the path of important and overall meaning behind each garden. That is what Renaissance gardens are known for, as well as their eye for symmetry and order. Italian Renaissance gardens are truly an amazing form of garden and should be appreciated by the public for time to come.